My dad was 93. He was a vet for the Korea War. He was in the Korea War for 4 years.
Richard Schmaus fought his entire life, first at war, then a cancer diagnosis.
They gave him 3 months to live 22 years ago. He fought it for 22 years, and he was a very strong man.
In those 22 years, Doug Schmaus says his dad prepared, set aside money for his funeral costs.
Because he didn't want us to have to deal with that coming out of our pockets when he was gone. I know that it was probably 15, 20 years ago when he opened it up.
When Richard passed away last January, Doug eventually went looking for that money, some $13,000.
He told me this money that was with BMO was for his burial fund. And they're like, no, his account has been closed.
Eventually, the bankers at BMO told him why.
The reason why they got turned over to the state, and they do this, if the bank account is not active, that they will return the money over to the state.
So Doug went to Colorado's unclaimed property division, the Great Colorado Payback. But the money wasn't there either.
I went through probably, I bet you, almost 100 hours of just trying to chase this stuff down.
What happened to Richard's account is part of Colorado's Unclaimed Property Act.
The laws were put into place as a consumer protection. So after a certain time, accounts will go dormant. There's different time frames depending on the type of account.
Jennifer Waller leads the Colorado Bankers Association.
A lack of activity would make an account go dormant.
Without Steve being on my side, I wouldn't have got nowhere.
Doug called Steve on your side about this. We reached out to BMO and the state treasurer's office, which runs the unclaimed property division. BMO never got back to us, but the state did. Said they'd received the money from the account, but they were waiting for BMO to clear a few things up before they posted it. And wouldn't you know it, the day that we reached out, the state and BMO connected.
Here you go.
And all of a sudden,
my money is there and it's in a claim now. And they're saying, 2 to 3 months, I'll have my dad's money to finally take care of the bills that I had to get a loan for to where we could bury him.
Waller from the Bankers Association has a few tips of how to avoid going through what Doug went through. If you have an account set up for something like this, you want to consider setting up automatic small transactions every so often to keep that account from going dormant. And when you're setting up an account like this, you want to sit down with a banker and ask about the best kind of account for something like this, and make sure that your contact information is up to date with your bank, because they will send you a notice if your account is on the brink of going dormant.
Well, that's good. It sounds like you can prevent this from happening.
Yeah.
And you understand why that law is in place, but still, don't you feel like they should be trying harder to reach out to families?
Well, and they say, and I wonder here, it's because Richard was a bit older. You wonder if maybe he missed some of the mail that said, I'll admit, I think there's a credit union account that I have out there somewhere that I set up for an auto loan that has like 10 cents in it or something like that. And I'll occasionally get a letter from the bank saying like, hey, something's going to happen to this. And I kind of toss it aside. You just want to watch your mail, make sure that your contact information is up to date, and try to keep track of where all these accounts are. Keep them on a list somewhere so that your kids know where they are. And especially you want to make sure that you set up your kids as a beneficiary on the account so that they'll be notified by the bank in the event that something happens to you.
Yep. Be accountable for your own accounts.
Yep.
Sounds like it. Okay. All right. Well, good job for you getting those folks that money back. I'm sure they really appreciate it.
Glad it was just a misconnection, and the connection got connected.
Yep. Thanks to Steve on your side.
Yep.